Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas Pinkevičius
and Aušra Pinkevičienė.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 478 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by MaryLu. And she writes, I've been with you for only a few days, but what you say is right on. I'm 78 years old and hold a bachelor's degree in music education and advanced degrees in piano performance, organ performance, and church music. At the moment, I work full-time at a large church where I direct 4 choirs and play all English and Latin masses. I also play several organ recitals a year. Over the last few years, I have found that I'm in the rut, replaying organ repertoire that I've been playing for years. So this year I'm breaking out of that rut and preparing new repertoire, which I plan to use for the first time this November. And I very much would like a bit of guidance. Rheinberger Organ Sonata number 17 in B major, registration especially. Though it seems straightforward, I can't seem to get it just right. Bach Little Fugue in G minor. Can't believe I'd never played that one, which you have already reviewed. That's how I found you. Alan Litanies. I know this doesn't answer your questions, but thank you for being here. MaryLu. Alright, first, Aušra, let's congratulate MaryLu that she is still practicing organ despite her age.
Yes, excellent. But that's what she has to do because she knows she is full-time church organist.
And she wants to learn new repertoire. This is really exciting.
It is. I think it's never late to learn new stuff.
And as long as you are learning new stuff, you actually postpone aging process.
True. I guess it's very important in life to stay curious about something and improve your skills and learn new things.
That's right, Aušra. And she needs guidance about registration. And to make it less specific to her but more general to other people, right? Because not everybody is playing Rheinberger Organ Sonata number 17 and the other pieces that she works on. Maybe we should talk about the principles, right? That
Sure.
She could also apply to other pieces of Rheinberger and other pieces of Bach and other pieces by Alain and so on, right?
Well, I would like probably to start to talk a little bit about Alain, because I don't know which edition she uses, but I think most of Alain's works are published by Alphonse Leduc, I believe, edition, and we have specific registration marks written in the score. What you can get when you are playing Alain's music. And if you are not well familiar with it, that some of his registration suggestions are very weird looking. But you shouldn't be afraid of that, because I guess Jean Alain had a house organ, which was a little bit weird too. And I guess some of his organ compositions were registered based on that house organ.
Right. And we should add that French famous, not French, Swiss organist who actually tries to, so to say, protect and develop interest in Jean Alain's work.
Guy Beauvais,
Guy Beauvais, yes. He was in Lithuania back in 2007, I think. And recently their association published facsimiles of Jean Alain's work. So anybody who is interested in original handwriting and orthograph can actually have modern facsimiles of Jean Alain's work and compare those things with published editions.
But I guess if you just follow what the directions given in the score, you should be just fine.
But you know the problem with the score. His sister, right? Sometimes is talked that she edited her work.
Marie-Claire
Alain, right? And she's a great expert, of course, in his work and everything. But she was very young, basically very little, when he died.
Yes, and I remember that Olivier Letrie, talked about it during his master classes in Omaha, in Lincoln, when we were in Nebraska, studying at Lincoln University, getting our doctoral degrees, and we played for him, And I remember I played for him the second fantasy by Jean Alain, and he talked that I need to be careful about registering his piece, because he told me that these registration marks are actually not original but made later by his sister, and that's what he thought, that she was probably too young to remember it. So I guess it's a very good idea to look at the facsimiles.
And I would add that yes, people need to look at the specification at the house organ of Jean Alain that his father built, and then a lot of indications would fall into place. Obviously, people playing on modern organs and other instruments, they don't have such instrument at all, so they have to do some adjustments.
True, you always need to adjust some things. What about Bach?
Bach fugue, right?
Yes.
It's relatively simple and straightforward, I would say. The tradition of playing non-choral based works of Baroque period in Germany indicated organo pleno, right?
Yes.
Principal chorus with mixtures.
Could you tell us what stops would belong to the principal chorus?
Depending on how big the organ is, it may have 16-foot principal or not. Or even sometimes they don't have 8-foot principal, but in general they have to have several principals aligned of different pitch levels. So if you have 16, 8, 4, that's good. Then you continue with 2, and then go to 2 and 2/3. This is a fifth, and go to a higher pitched fifth, maybe 1 and 1/3 if it's a principal. And basically you could add a mixture, and depending if the mixture is a low mixture, then you definitely need A principal 16, if it's a higher mixture, you don't necessarily need 16 foot.
Well, let's see what to do if you don't have principal 16 and principal 8, but you have, let's say, flute 16 and flute 8. Could you replace principals with a flute instead?
You see, I think if you have an organ with 16 foot bourdon in the manual, then you definitely would have principal 8. So.
But my question is, for example, okay, you have principal 8, but you don't have principal 16. Would you put the bourdon 16 instead of a principal?
Yes.
And let's say if your manuals don't have 16 foot stops at all, would you then just start with registering with 8?
8.
Foot?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you don't have a principal?
8. I would add flute 8.
And then principal 4, yes?
Principal 4 and work my way upwards. What about you?
Yes, I guess I would do the same thing. And what about pedal? What kind of stops would you add to play?
Well, with pedals, sometimes you have to check. Yes, you have 16 foot principal, 8 foot principal, 4 foot principal, and then you have posaune and trumpet and mixture. You could add those things if they are not too overpowering to the organo pleno sound in the manuals. But in Bach's day, he had a lot of organs, especially in Saxony, that Silbermann built, with only 3 stops. Subbass 16, octave bass 8, or maybe it was called principal bass, and then posaune. Those 3 stops would be enough to play with a nice, not too big principal chorus in the manuals.
Do you think he might use also manual coupler to the pedal?
If there was one, yes. Because lots of organs in his time didn't have a pedal coupler, only the manual coupler with they call it Schiebekoppel, which is like a device where you mechanically move the
one keyboard
on top of the other. Yes, and they coincide, and then both keys of both keyboards can be played together. All right.
What now about Rheinberger? How would you?
Rheinberger, Liszt, and Mendelssohn, and what else? Roepke, and to some degree maybe Karl Gellert, although Rheinberger, right? These composers have certain colors similar to German organs. So Rheinberger's tradition might be possible to do on modern organs, following suggestions by Felix Mendelssohn, I think. Right?
Yeah.
And Felix Mendelssohn, at the preface of his 6 organ sonatas, wrote that you could always have 16 foot stop in the pedals, right? Always, unless indicated otherwise by the composer. And then he has, I think, 5 or 6 dynamic levels: pianissimo, piano, mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte, and fortissimo. So pianissimo means what, Osha?
Well, you need to use the softest organ stops, 8 foot.
8 foot flute, right, or string, just one.
Yes.
The softest of any manual. And then, if you have piano, you could have a couple of those together, but also very soft flutes, let's say. And then mezzo piano would have maybe flutes 8 and 4. Mezzo forte might have already principals 8 and 4. And then forte could have, as he says, all the stops of the great manual, but without some of the loudest stops, which means without maybe reeds.
Yes.
And maybe mixtures could work already, I think.
It depends on the
It
mixture,
depends, you have
probably.
to check. And
Some mixtures are so prominent that you will save them for later.
And fortissimo means full organ.
Yeah.
This is simple. And remember, Ausra, we last played Čiurlionis arrangement of his symphonic poem In the Forest in Denmark.
And we did, I think, something similar to
Yes,
that. Because how many? We had like six
exactly
dynamic
six
levels.
Combinations. Yes. And we followed those.
Of course, despite of having only 6 levels, dynamic levels, we worked pretty hard, because we changed between these levels a lot.
Yes. Composer like to write those waves, louder and softer, so we always had to press pistons to adjust. So,
do you think it would be possible to play Rheinberger's Organ Sonata by using crescendo pedal?
It should be on a decent organ, yeah, but you have to check always. And if it's not programmable by you, you have to then do it with pistons, I think, program by hand, and then you can be sure that these dynamic levels would work for your piece, I think. Agree?
Yes.
So this is our advice to MaryLu and anybody else who is playing Bach's music and Alain's music and German Romantic music. All right. Maybe you have to adjust things, but these are general suggestions. All right. Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent.
John writes, I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor.
Robert writes, it has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching.
Ron writes, Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue. And by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward.
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas.
And Ausra from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.